Hello, everyone. This is Maria, Inspiring Human Potential, Inner Growth Content Creator, and Podcast Host. Today, we're here for our weekly Roundup Monday Motivation. We get to talk about 3 takeaways from last week's episodes. We will be talking about self-worth and mindset, navigating the unconsciousness while also bringing about flexibility, and 3, the unity, the inner world, and you being able to take challenges that are presented to you, transform them through the wholeness that you achieve with conscious and subconscious and unconscious awareness. Because that's the thing, as you pursue inner growth, every time there's a conflict, it is outside that exchanges an interaction with you. And we've always been discussing as well those unknown elements of life. This is part of that human condition. In fact, in one of the episodes, we talked about how it's termed the human dilemma. We will refer to it as the human condition if we want, but really I won't even label it that, because this is when we label things, we forget that we are a participant, that we are the ones who are always actively able to flexibly remove the labels and navigate beyond it. So while the rest of the world and those who continue to express concepts in duality do so, we do so from neutrality. This transcendent function that is explained probably more than just from Carl Jung. It's also explained to people who are in the field of meditation and mindfulness and conscious living space. Now, takeaway 1, I have notes, so excuse me for a minute. Self-worth and mindset. We are always creating that aspect for us in the best way possible. But when you can achieve the independence, an empowered independence with that, which means acknowledging that you coexist with the external society, culture. Your first society is your family, your parents, or whoever is the person who raised you. Then there's the siblings as well, and they're also the ones who tell you about the world. So you have a foundation. That doesn't mean you're always in agreement with the foundation, but there is a foundation. Keeping that in mind is how you begin to create your own independence. It's not by negating it that you process the emotions that have a relationship with those experiences. In fact, it is actually through those emotions that you gain a sense of comfort from your body, because you're choosing flow, neutrality, and not to engage in the defense mechanism of that nervous system's response, which is related and connected to our secondary consciousness as human beings and our nervous system as human beings. So self-worth and mindset, they're always open to growth if you are open from within to growth, which leads us to takeaway 2. The inner world, your within, helps you to transform challenges and to create positivity. Not positivity solely as an attitude, as we've discussed on the podcast episode, but positivity as a being. The flow that you gain as you gain familiarity with your inner world and choose neutrality and unconditional love, which are always at the bottom, at the essence of anything. You begin by disengaging immediately from being in defense mode, because otherwise the emotional and rational brain hemispheres don't continue functioning at their top ability. You're using your flight-fight response slowly. Depends the level of upset, meaning if you stay calm, then you're more likely to continue expanding. However, you're already closed to whatever is being told to you if you're still getting agitated. That doesn't help you to transform the challenge or to create positivity. And you're not really working with the inner world. So from within is where you want to always lead. Choosing the neutrality, unconditional love is from the heart and the mind, and that's automatically with you knowing that it's also the body, because you're choosing to stay calm. As you practice this, you're able to be in a place of challenge and be positive, or at the very least neutral. The positivity does come in time because you actually realize you are empowered, you are loving, and nothing is scary per se. The unknown, the mind doesn't like, but nothing's necessarily scary. And for any of those physical dangers, those are those aspects that they're out of our control. We do what we can to live a life that is secure, and we also can choose right here to trust our systems. The things we don't like, we try and change them. So always from within is where you begin the exploration when you're engaging with a challenge that the outside brings to you. Positivity is the application consistently, over and over and over again. For our takeaway 3, flexibility, unity, and navigating your unconsciousness. Right here, when you can stand in neutrality with things you don't like, and you experience feelings also of upset, as well as the opposite. That's why it's empowering, because you're sitting with everything, and you're sitting in a space of safety, your safety. It's you. You don't have anybody that's telling you what they think or not think. But to achieve flexibility is where sometimes being taught that you need to stand your ground on something doesn't help you. So we say you don't stand your ground, you open up to taking a look at your ground. And from here, you begin to remember, I lead things in my way, but I'm also living with the world outside of me. And that's why the unknown elements of life is also part of this. So flexibility with the unknown, with yourself. This is where practice helps to achieve a place of patience as well. And as you gain this patience, and as you achieve seeing yourself as one, so the self-ego, there's no part of you that's better, there's no part of you that's worse. You are being yourself. You are participating with the ego of you, the self of you, the human of you. You're proud to have all of those lovely emotions because you get to actually navigate them, since being one means you get to also experience what you're experiencing. When people react to those feelings in a specific way, it's because they're being talked about those feelings as if they're bad. They're allocated in that place, which is why it doesn't help somebody to remove the ego battle or the warrior with an enemy. And that's where the energy, the nervous system continues to stay in this defense mechanism, because essentially the unknown elements of life, other people, life itself, the challenges, anything is not part of you, meaning you're not the one experiencing it. It's being done to you, so you have that enemy. You get to transform everything from within, because you reduce that enemy to physical, actual threat is where my flight fight will always engage. This is for certain. Anything that is a concept, that is an opinion, that is a potential life disappointment, I can manage. And that's where you will always keep accessing that infinite higher human potential, because you're in neutrality and you're not saying, no, it's good, it's bad. You're actually evaluating what's happening, and then you're taking action with the wisdom of heart, because you're also in that loving place and you're choosing to transcend again, external. You're not judging it. You're in neutrality. Your energy is not focused on what is outside of you. It's focused on here. So looking forward to being back next week with another Monday motivation and hearing from you guys as always. Ciao.